It's Tuesday, March 28. Mornings with Marcel and Friends is about to begin for you right now. So, let's roll! Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Mornings with Marcel and Friends on this Tuesday morning. Appreciate you being here for this amazing 30-minute show, and I hope you are all enjoying the long Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for your service and sacrifice for the dedication of this beautiful country that we like to call America. Thank you for your service and sacrifice to our wonderful country. I have the amazing tribute to both the amazing true icon, Mr. Bill Walton, coming at you, following your complete Tuesday's news headlines. Oh yes, Tuesday's hard news, as well as the verse of the day. Many people who saw on Bill's extraordinary life and outstanding career as a great basketball icon and American sportscaster for NBA on NBC. That's right, NBA on NBC. After this, he'd been battling with lung cancer. This is what the disease looks like, though. So that's coming up, but in the meantime, let's get right to the news at 2 minutes past the hour. The summer movie season historically draws the largest theater audiences of the year. However, the box office of 2024 seeing slumping sales following months-long production delays and strikes that brought Hollywood to a standstill. So, here is your Tuesday's hard news and even some finance you need to know right from the top. Oh, by the way, I have the finance of the word of the day before the end of the show. That's well coming up. The news you need to know right from the top to get you up to speed and on with your day, and my podcast, Morning News Headlines, episode 346, where I recorded it, is available right now. So I have the soundbite. Will be right after that as well. But in the meantime, let's get right to it. It is the day the world has seen as former President Trump's unprecedented criminal hush money trial expected to be in the hands of jurors this week. And the closing arguments is set to begin right now. We'll allow prosecutors to explain to the jurors of 12 how each witnesses they called a piece of evidence they're presented bolsters their kills or case for a guilty verdict on the felony counts of 34, including falsifying business records. After his attorneys also present their closing arguments, the judge presiding over the case will instruct the jury as to the charges it must consider against the former president. After that, the jurors will begin their deliberations. If convinced, the judge could sentence Trump to probation or a sentence of up to 4 years on each count in state prison, with a maximum of 2 decades. That's 20 years. And there it is. The money trial, the hush money trial for the closing statements is set to taking place in hours' time. So do stay tuned and fingers crossed. Next up, global outage is mounting over Israel's airstrike on a camp for displaced Palestinians in Rafah that killed at least 45 people and wounded 200 others as day 231 of the conflict between Israel and Hamas continues. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the strike a tragic error, but reaffirmed that he would not end the war in Gaza until his military goals were accomplished. And the White House said it is actively engaging with officials in Israel to determine what precisely happened. The deadly strike just comes weeks, or should I say the deadly strike comes just weeks after President Biden told CNN and others that he'd halt some shipments of American weapons to Israel if it invades Rafah. Israeli bombers or Israeli bombings in other areas of Gaza also killed at least 6 others from a Palestinian news agency, Rafah. Oh my gosh. There it is. A video show scale of the devastation there in the city itself. Let's head to weather. Around 47 million people across the country are at risk for severe weather as powerful storms continue to ravage parts of the central, southern, and eastern United States. Destructive thunderstorms and tornadoes were responsible for at least 23 deaths over the holiday Memorial Day weekend, including 4 children in parts of Kentucky, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma. Another 5 people died. Central and northern Texas appear to face the most serious threat of severe weather, and the area, which includes the greater metropolitan Austin, the capital of the Lone Star State, Dallas and Fort Worth regions too, or aka the Metroplex, could be pelted by large hail, lightning, and wind gusts as strong as 80. According to the NWS, a few tornadoes may also stir up. Let's head to Papua New Guinea. Thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate following a massive landslide last week. As many as 2,000 people are feared to have been burned in the disaster that rattled the mountainous Anga region province back on Friday. Rescuers have struggled to reach such a remote part of what is already one of Asia's poorest nations, leaving locals with little choice but to dig through the mountainside with whatever tools they have. The area continues to pose an extreme risk of officials as rocks continue to fall and the soil is exposed to constant increased pressure. It's not clear what caused the landslide, but geologists say rainfall could have altered the minerals of the bedrock, weakening the rock that forms the steep hillsides. And last but not least, controversy is brewing at the Vatican after Pope Francis allegedly told Italian bishops not to permit gay men to train for the priesthood. The 2 newspapers in the nation claimed that the 87-year-old pontiff made a homophobic slur in a closed-door meeting back on the 20th day of May. The newspaper articles, which were translated from Italian, claimed the Pope has said there is francagine, or francagine. I don't know what kind of word is, but it was translated in here in English. We don't say this on internet, but faggotry. Oh no, that is the not sense word. That's a terrifying, disgusting word. In some of the seminaries, anyway, a source close to the Pope told others that it could also be understood as there is a gay climate in the seminaries. CNN and others reach out to the Vatican to request comment on whether the Pope used the term, but has not gotten a response. Alright, the concerts of summer. What you can see live music. A household bug has unexpected origins. Dreaming about retiring abroad. Indy celebrates historic Grand Prix. And one went away. The NBA Finals, the Dallas Mavericks defeated the T-Wolves in Game 3 back on Sunday to move a 3-0 in the series and knock on the door of their first NBA Finals in 13 years, while they swept the Indiana Pacers for the Boston Celtics yesterday to punch their ticket to the championship series. The NBA Finals is taking place next month. Now to in memoriam, the Basketball Hall of Fame center and colorful commentator yesterday following a prolonged battle with cancer, the NBA announced. Among several notable accolades, Bill Walton won 2 national titles at UCLA and 2 NBA championships in Portland and Boston. He was 71, and I'll have that for you coming up in just a bit. Today's number, $24 billion. That's the valuation of Musk's AI firm after the startup received an additional $6 billion from Silicon Valley investors and the Saudi prince. The funding sets the project up as a potential rival to OpenAI, the company behind the widely popular chatbot GPT. And last but not least, today's quote, mourning the loss of Betty Nash from American Airlines, the world's longest-serving flight attendant, who was 88 years old, started the job in 1957, and spent nearly 7 decades caring for customers with warmth, dedication, and unparalleled service from the airline. Fly high, Betty. All right. Remember, my podcast, The Morning News Headlines, episode 346, is coming at ya. Where I was done podcasting for self. I have more for you in episode 347 tomorrow. That is this Tuesday's installment of the 5 Things. It's 11 minutes past the hour. What is the verse of the day? Well, let's listen to our friends at verseoftheday.com to find things out.
Verse of the day for May 28th. It comes from Matthew 5:28, and it is in the middle of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And the Lord says, "But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." I'm Phil Ware, and wow, living in a sexually supercharged world and facing the prevalence of pornography on the internet and in today's media, how are you doing with this issue? Jesus challenges us to recognize that sin starts in our hearts, and it begins when we longingly seek what is not ours to have. While the world might think such rigorous guarding of our hearts is impossible or ridiculous, Jesus wants us to know he takes sexual sin and the place it begins, the lust of our hearts, seriously. Let's pray. Loving Father, give me the strength to resist sexual temptation, the wisdom to stay away from it, and the character to triumph over it. Purify my heart, O God, and make it yearn for what is holy and life-giving. In the mighty name of Jesus I pray. Amen.
All right, let's see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. And as I was done for the drafts to upload of my podcast, and many thanks to Feelware itself, ladies and gentlemen, for today's verse of the day. And by the way, I want you all to beware because of that. I hope his prayers and our prayers to you and me is always making things better and things done. So, many thanks to Feelware. And now, I want you, for this morning's the news that was just taking on socials as well as on the UCLA Library's Facebook page for the passing of the icon, the myth, the legend, amazing and talented for many. He has been a basketball player, he has been a Hall of Famer, and he is a colorful commentary who is battling with cancer at the age of 71. And thoughts and prayers go out to his family, the Celtics, the UCLA Bruins organization, as well as the amazing NBA during this tough and difficult time, along with the colleagues at NBC Sports from the 1991 all the way to the end of 2000. And as according to the website from CNN, the Basketball Hall of Fame, who center who won 2 national titles at USA, along with the Portland Trailblazers and the Boston Bruins itself, and later put the color commentator Following a pretty long battle with cancer, the NBA announced he was 71 and surrounded by his family. So, his wife named Lori. Yes, Lori. That's his name. There it is. His wife, Lori. And 4 boys are home of the college basketball named Luke, who won NBA titles with the Lakers. And meaning he and his dad were the first father-son combination with multiple rings. But his brother Bruce, who died back in 2019, played in the Super Bowl with the Cowboys in 1976. And they were the first siblings to play in NFL and NBA championship games so far. I'm going to read from the X website along with Facebook coming at you. So I will have the article and I have your reaction on my page that on the true passing of one of sports' greatest men, the icon Luke Walton. So he was definitely surrounded by his family, and according to Commissioner Adam Silver said in a statement, Bill was a truly one of a kind. As a Hall of Fame player, he redefined the center position. His unique all-around skills made him a dominant force at UCLA and led to an NBA regular season and finals MVP, 2 NBA championships, and a spot on the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams itself too. He then translates his infectious enthusiasm for the love to the game to broadcasting, where he delivered insightful and colorful commentator which entertained generations of basketball fans. But I say this, what I will remember most about him, his zest for life. He was a regular presence at league events, always upbeat, smiling ear to ear, and looking to share his wisdom and warmth. I treasure our close friendship, envied his boundless energy, and admired the time he took with every person he encountered, end quote. So his basketball journey began at UCLA, the Pac-12's campus and champ team itself, where he grew up. The 6'11" red-headed center started under legacy coach of John Wooden and led the Bruins to national championships in 1972 and 73, both in the perfect seasons of 30-0. In the title game itself in 1973, he took 22 shots and missed only one, scoring a championship contest record of 44. The team at 1.188 straight games, a man's record that still stands. In each of his 3 varsity seasons, he was the National College Player of the Year and an All-American. And then repeatedly, both gentlemen of Walton and Wooden clashed over cultural and political issues, including Walton's long hair and his protests against the Vietnam War itself. Back in 1972, he was arrested at an anti-war demonstration in an LA campus. So I'm going to read it to you on their Facebook page that includes itself. This was there itself. The Library's Summer Quarter TBT series that highlights itself of the student activism through library-held collections, and this time, sourced from the Los Angeles Times, UCLA LSC's photographic collection, one of men's basketball superstar participating in an anti-war protest in the city of Westwood. He was arrested during the peaceful demonstration on bail out on by himself of John Wooden. In his memoir, Back from the Dead, he recalled telling his disappointed mentor, "Coach, you can't say what you want. It's my classmates and friends who are coming home in body bags and wheelchairs." So he was continuing to support student athletes speaking out on current events. And also, he was wounded for ball him out. So the NBA draft in 1974 by the big man with a nifty hook shot was the number 1 pick by the Portland Trailblazers and led the team to its only championship game in 1977. He was named the NBA's most valuable player itself in that playoffs and the finals. And the next season, he was the name of the regular season MVP. His political remarks made him a controversial figure. Now, in 1975, he called for the rejection of the government and referred to the FBI, who once questioned him as the enemy. According to the coverage in the New York Times, hundreds of fans called for him to be traded, and the team management denounced his statement, but kept him on the roster. And how about this one? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the world feels much heavier on the deaths of his great friend. On the court, Bill was a fierce player, but off the court, he wasn't happy unless he did everything he could to make everyone around him happy. He was the best of us, and he was inducted the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1993. And let's say this, from playing to broadcasting, ESPN, the leader in sports since 1979. Despite growing up with the Sutter, he went on a successful broadcasting career as a sometimes outlandish commentator, both the NBA and NCAA basketball games, mostly working. But also he was known for bringing a sense of joy, wonder, and wackiness to his coverage of the game. A well-known fan of the Grateful Dead, San Francisco's very own, he was often seen wearing tie-dyeing shirts and sprinkled reference to the band in his coverage. Come on, that was no foul. It may be a violation of all the basic rules of human decency, but it's not a foul. He wasn't said on the broadcast. A lot of people understand what not saying any means so. And in fact, not saying anything. It's really saying a lot. And also, yesterday we're celebrating Sir Isaac Newton's discovery of gravity. And also, Factworko Abredo is defying it. That's from Awful Announcing. It's amazing flashing intelligence. Back in 2002, he joined with Mouth Albert post the start of the Game 4 of the NBA Finals in East Rutherford, New Jersey, playing with the New Jersey Nets for so many years, but now still with the Brooklyn Nets, my fan ambassadors team itself. And he struggled with the consequences of those injuries and then told David Oxerot in his podcast, The X-Files, back in 2016, that back pain nearly drove him to suicide back in 2008. Marty Glickman, fame announcer and former track star, helped Walton work through his speech impediment when waltzing he was in 28 and said, "He took me over in the corner. We stood behind a pot of plants in 5 minutes. He just laid it out. Bam, bam, bam." This is how you learn how to talk. So, Bill Walton dances at one of the Grateful Dead's Fare Thee Well shows at Levi's Stadium in 2015 in Santa Clara, formerly known as Candlestick Park. Wow, so many memories. We also have the statement from the UCLA Bruins website, and then I will read it to you on X. I will get from David Oxerot, and then we'll have that for him in just a bit. And there it is. Yes, amazing itself. So many of the legends and so many of the amazing time. And I'll say this. This is from Mick Cronin. On behalf of everyone with the UCLA men's basketball program, we are deeply saddened to learn of Walton's passing. The Michael Price family, UCLA men's head basketball coach, says the deepest condolences go out to his family and loved ones. It's very hard to put into words what he has meant to the program, as well as his tremendous impact on college basketball. Beyond his remarkable accomplishments as a player, it's his relentless energy, enthusiasm for the game, and unwavering candor that have been the hallmarks of his larger-than-life personality. As a passionate alumnus and broadcaster, he loved being around our players, hearing their stories, and sharing his wisdom and advice. For me as a coach, he was honest kind, and always had his heart in the right place. I will miss him very much. It's hard to imagine a season at Pauley Pavilion without him. Our athletes department, our team, and this university, along with the rest of the Pac-12, will miss him dearly. Also, Martin Jamin of UCLA's Alex and Nathan Lanier Family Director of Atlas says, Bill represents so many of the ideals that our university holds dear and embodied multiple traits on Coach Wooden's pyramid of success. He loved being back on campus, calling games in Polo Pavilion, and being around our teams. We offer our deepest sympathy to his family, and we take solace in knowing that Bill made him each day his definitely a masterpiece. Also, David Oserod tweeted it yesterday saying, Bill was more than one of the greatest players of all time. He was an all-world human being with a huge heart and infectious enthusiasm for life. He lived through intolerable pain and yet, as an announcer, managed to lift our burdens and make us smile. I'm so grateful to know him. May he rest in peace, and may his memory be a blessing. And also, Walton scored 44 on a 21 of 22 shooting in the 1973 championships, and he watched the game with Michael Jordan for 13 seasons in Chicago. Wow, that is wonderful. Miss that amazing one. Before I get to read from Shelby, let's take a moment of silence in honor of Bill Walton. Please. Thank you. All right, let's go to the chats. Shelby J watching me this morning. Hi, Shelby J. Good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. You really love of my amazing show. You are amazing, a talented, beautiful person. What kind of love are you, Shelby? Are you watching from home or you're going at work? Great to be with you, Shelly, or shall I say Shelby J. Hey, Shelby J, as you're honest on this comet side of life, I will love to have you as a guest on my show from next week to start of June. What do you say? What do you say, huh? Shelby J, come on by to start off my show. It's really good. Yes, indeed, Shelby J, who is the fan of my show, and I really love it. If you have StreamYard or YouTube and StreamYard, make sure you subscribe to my channel, Shelby J. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let's change gears. Oh, do I mention it because of my background? Oh, what is this background going on, huh? Oh yeah, still me. Featuring the background of this gorgeous sunrise here in my home place of New York. I know, Brooklyn is my hometown. This is definitely first of all, break it down. I love mornings. And the mornings, it really changed my life, especially you. I have the morning routine. I didn't have an alarm clock, but I know this time it could be. What does your morning routine look like? Let me know in the comment section before to wrap up today's show. But in the meantime, if I guarantee you to say yes about the markets and the world of everything from start to finish, do I have to say almost to the end of the show, you have 1 minute away till the opening bell is set to take place, where the futures is up to rise it up after a long Memorial Day weekend, thanks to the mix as record high name from NVIDIA. Be on the lookout for that. So, here's what they did. Dow futures is down, but the Nasdaq and S&P futures still up rising. Alright, let's change gears into the word of the day as we're coming to a close of today's show. I want you to listen to today's word and then what it means.
Gadfly.
Gadfly is today's word of the day, and it literally refers to any of various flies, such as a horsefly, botfly, or warble that bite or annoy livestock. It's the most popular figurative use, however, where it refers to someone who provokes or annoys other people, especially persistent criticism. And how about the Gadfly? The journalist was known for opposing hypocrisy in politics. Gadfly. Gadfly is today's the word of the day. All right, it's 9:30 here in the East, 6:30 out West. Thank you for joining today's installment of Mornings with Marcel and Friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day ahead. If you're listening to my podcast, episode 346 of Morning News Headlines is available now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you right back here, same place, same time, next Tuesday, where Shelby J joins me. Bye-bye.